Hello there, welcome to Transformation Tuesday group coaching call. If you're watching live, today is Tuesday, June 23rd, and we're in the middle of this pandemic. And a lot of people that I'm talking to at work and new clients, everyone is mentioning how COVID has just disrupted everything, right? We know that, but that, people that were going to the gym are not going to the gym. Workouts so have become very inconsistent at best. And then we're at home a little bit extra, so the refrigerator literally opens itself and calls your name and says, "Come on over, John. It's time for a snack." Right? We've all been there. And obviously, we still have a choice. We still have a choice. And I posted a couple things so that after the video you can check them out. But the last three posts, the last one says, "You're always winning the game that you're playing, but are you playing the game that you want to win?" So I added that last part in. But basically, we could convince ourselves into anything we want to believe. If you want to believe that you can't work out because the gym is closed and COVID is going around, then that's what you're going to believe and that's what you're going to do. But I work out every day at 5 o'clock, except Fridays, and Sundays are optional for me. Depending on how Sunday is, I either, have my jog or my workout. But what I've done as a trigger for my exercise habit is literally the front door of my house. As I walk through that front door, it's my trigger that I need to go pretty much directly to the room, get changed, and go work out. To create a habit, there's a trigger, there's a response, and there's a reward. If you're walking through the door thinking about how tired you are and how just there's no way you're gonna work out, there's no way you're gonna work out. But I get home just as tired, but my mentality, my approach is when I walk through that door, that's that's what I do. That's it. It's not try or don't try. It's do or don't do. So it sounds a little simplistic, but the simpler the better because that's how habits are also formed. The mind and the body want the simple answer, the simple solution. Although the task itself may not seem pleasant, exercising, working out, it's hot. I'm always so glad that I did it. I'm always 45 minutes later and I'm sweating and I know that I did such a good thing for my body and my health that I'm just always so glad that I did it. So the tiredness, you know, that's the game that can easily, it's true. I mean, the things that you tell yourself they're not lies. You're tired, you had a long day, XYZ is going on at home. Those things are all true, but the way you present it to yourself is what's going to determine what's the next action step that you take. Sure, maybe sometimes I can't just do that. I can't just, there's something else going on. But again, 80/20. If 5 out of 7 days, that's the habit, that's the trigger, that's the response, that's the reward, I'm going to do really well. So, no more COVID excuses. And, I'm not making light of it at all. It is rebounding here in Florida, and we're hoping for the best and just kind of preparing, for the worst. Um, so I just kind of wanted to kick it off with that because the next part of what I want to talk about is priorities and role setting. So, some of you may have already seen this. A lot of this group coaching is refreshers to things that we've discussed in the course. So I think if I click over, I'm not sure if you guys see it, so probably not. But there's a there's basically an exercise that you do where you have a jar, an empty jar, and let's just say I put a bunch of big rocks inside the jar. Um, I know the stream looks like it's not doing too well. Sorry guys, this delay is killing me. All right, so I put these rocks in the jar, and the jar is full to the top with big rocks. So I ask you, is the jar full? And most people that haven't seen the exercise before say, yeah, the jar is full. You can't fit any more big rocks. But then I cleverly grab a little jar of tiny, tiny pebbles and I pour the pebbles in, and the pebbles fill up all around the big rocks, right? So now I ask if it's full, and again, most people say, okay, John, now it's full. But I have another trick up my sleeve. I grab sand and I pour the sand in, and the sand really now it's packed in there, fills up the rest. So now the jar's full, right? Wrong. Now I get some water and I pour water, and the water really now it's tapped off to the top. So now it's full, pretty much. I'm not. I think it's full. So the point of that is what? The point of that is if I didn't start with the big rocks first, if I put the water, the sand, or the pebbles before the big rocks, I would never be able to fit the big rocks in. So especially during COVID and times of crisis, when we lose a little bit of direction, or we lose a little bit of sense of purpose and identity, because right now we don't even know, we don't even know, really know. Some people are, more difficult the situations than others. We don't even know what tomorrow is going to bring. Um, Having your priorities is going to save you a lot of anxiety and consternation because that really doesn't change. It's like values and morals. That really doesn't change. Those big rocks, whether it's you being a father or a mother, or it's you being a brother or a sister, or you being, manager, or the other things in your life, like a volunteer or an inventor or a writer or business owner, whatever these things are that are important to you, you need to put those rocks in that jar first, and then you get to the other things. And I tell everybody that the first rock you should put in is yourself. Like your muscles, meals, and mindset. What we always teach in UpLevel Living. That really is the first thing that you need to plan on, because we say it all the time, you have to make yourself a priority. You have to make yourself a priority, and you can't pour from an empty cup. That feeling of exhaustion at the end of the day and just not taking care of yourself means you're no good for anybody else either, right? You don't have the focus for anybody else, the energy for anybody else. You just want to collapse. And that's no way to live. So making yourself a priority and taking time to do the things that are important to you, and taking time to do the things that are good for your health and wellness, are going to pay off not only for yourself, but for everyone in your inner circle. For all those other priorities, it's going to pay off as well. So I wanted to remind you about the priority, and I linked to it as well here on this couple of posts just prior to this video, in case you don't have it. And then you have your priorities, so now you can plan out your week and your month, and maybe as far as a quarter. I really don't like to go too much beyond that, because a goal that's an end of the year goal, it really takes way, there's so many variables, takes a ton of discipline. It's really just usually not the best way. You want to take that yearly goal, even if it is, and just drop it down to one quarter, 3 months. What do you have to do to make that happen? So, the way that I have my role planner, and again, I've linked to it here, is you do start with you. You start with movement, meals, and mindset. So when you print out the role planner, you'll see, the days of the week are across the top. So I'm going to say on movement, I'm going to do it Monday at 5, Tuesday at 5, Wednesday at 5, Thursday at 5, Friday I'm off, Saturday at 10 a.m., Sunday at 10 a.m. I've blocked that in. Before I do anything else, those things are set in stone. My meals, I may just put, something about my meal prep. Maybe there's a special day that I'm going to go out. You do plan your dining through here. It could be a diet that you're on, like the 14-day elimination diet. So it's not a huge space, but you can put some notes here. And then mindset is super duper important, right? That's everything you do for meditation, for yoga, for qigong, for relieving anxiety through things outside of exercise and outside of diet. Your reading, your prayer life, just being able to separate. Sometimes it's just silence. Sometimes it's just silence and stretching and breathing. Sometimes it's reading. Sometimes it's listening to music. But taking time, blocking time 3-4 days a week to do that. And my recommendation is either early in the morning, starting with a meditation, or at night before bed. So so there's your, the role that starts with making yourself a priority. Now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other spaces here for other roles. So I could put father, and I know that Friday I have to have a doctor's appointment with my son, and I know that Saturday I have a barbecue and I'm taking my son with me. So when you, and then maybe, as one of my, you know, other roles is personal to me, is writing. So writing is still something I'm not a professional at. I've written one book and I want to write more. I want to do the planner. If I want to get my role planner book done, I have to put it in here as a writer, and I have to put the days and the times that I'm going to dedicate to that. It could be as a son. I'm going to, make sure that I reach out to my mom on Wednesday and on Friday, and then this weekend is the barbecue. The bottom line is when you start with these big roles, with these big rocks, and you put them and you plan them into your week, you first of all are doing the things that are most important to you. The guilt factor and the man, I miss my son's this or that, it just goes away. We all have work, and work will always be there, guys. This is almost outside of your work. Like, this includes, goals as far as maybe you want to start a business, maybe you want to write a book, maybe you want to just cook more, and you want to put cook down as a role, or put, home cooking, whatever it is you want to improve upon. You want to put it in there. And the bottom line is, these are the things that are most important to you. These are the things that connect to your purpose and identity. And when you do them, I just heard this podcast the other day. I'm going to definitely link to it. That one of the things that determines longevity, healthy longevity, is conscientiousness, which is tough for me to say. And one of the things of conscientiousness is doing what you say you're going to do, and doing the things that are important to you. People who live purposeful lives tend to live longer. Anything can happen to anybody, but people who live connected, their behaviors to their beliefs, and develop the habits that are all congruent, they tend to live longer lives. So when you set out to do something and you don't do it, and you don't do it, and you're just not keeping your word, you're eroding yourself. You're literally like eroding yourself. And it happens emotionally, and it happens physically. So, I don't know, if you guys are using it, if you're not using it, honor your others by honoring yourself. It says at the bottom of the planner, go ahead and print it out and try it, try it next week. And print out the priority jar. The priority jar is also blank. So one, two, three. There's 5 big rocks in here. If you need to add a sixth one, split one rock in half. But pause for a minute. I always say pause before you pivot or persevere. Maybe Sunday night is a good time whenever you have some alone time, and just really think about these things, because so many times we take so many steps in a direction that's ends up being meaningless. And I'm not saying don't go down a road. We'd never know where the roads are going to lead us, but we're going down a lot of roads that we probably knew we didn't really need to go down. And that's because you disconnected from that priority for whatever reason. It's great to try new things, but is that new thing really in alignment with the things that are most important to you? Or are you just looking for some escape, or you're just looking for some distraction? Maybe it's time to just reconnect, really dig back down. So that's all I have. Is the coachings on Tuesdays are going to be 15, 20 minutes tops. The more people, as we get more people on these calls, we'll definitely take questions and have some more interaction. So the video stays up. You could watch it at any time. And I got to see something about my feed, because I know it's lagging, and that stinks. That's no fun for nobody. But anyway, guys, thanks for dropping by. And you can't share this video publicly because it's a private group. But if for some reason you do need or want to share with somebody, let me know, and I can email you the video. I can download it and email to you. All right. Have a great night, and I'll see you guys next week. Keep doing your thing. Bye bye.